Fabrizio Romano makes Alexander-Arnold guarantee amid jaw-dropping Real Madrid sale claims. Hugo Ekitike delivers cutting 86-word rebuke to claims of Liverpool regrets after Isak transfer. Now let's hear the details. Fabrizio Romano makes Alexander-Arnold guarantee amid jaw-dropping Real Madrid sale claims. Speculation that Real Madrid are already planning to move Trent Alexander-Arnold on in 2026 and could let the player return to the Premier League with Man City in 2026 have resulted in a very strong riposte from Fabrizio Romano. The 26-year-old moved to the Bernabeu over the summer, having departed boyhood club Liverpool at the end of his contract and confirming what many had suspected to be the case for a good number of months. Having risen through his hometown club's ranks to be regarded as one of the world's best fullbacks, the departure of Alexander-Arnold on a free transfer did not sit well with some of the supporters who had previously worshipped him. While the Reds did ultimately bank €10 million from his exit after Real decided they needed the player for their Club World Cup campaign, just 10 games into his career at the Bernabeu and things appear to have taken a drastic turn. Having struggled to replicate his best form and having portions of the media questioning his defensive attributes, it had been suggested that Real Madrid were already regretting their decision to sign the 34-times capped England player and were open to his possible sale in 2026, and with Manchester City already being touted as a possible destination. Worse yet, with the player suffering a hamstring injury and facing up to 6 weeks on the sidelines, it's been a far from glorious start to his new career in Spain. However, transfer journalist Romano has moved quickly to reject suggestions that Alexander-Arnold could be put up for sale, having insisted on his YouTube channel that they remain convinced he will soon come good. I've seen a lot of messages on Trent Alexander-Arnold and not a good start at Real Madrid. Real Madrid, I wanted to say that, and I wanted to mention that I can guarantee you, Real Madrid are very happy with Trent as a professional, as a quality player, and are very happy with the investment they made on signing him as a free agent. They are very happy with that. Alexander-Arnold struggling to adjust, but Real Madrid still believe. Romano is adamant that Alexander-Arnold will soon hit his stride in La Liga despite what he called an unforgettable start. Obviously, maybe the start was not unforgettable. He's also got injured, so get well soon, Trent. But I can guarantee that, internally, Real Madrid are not changing their mind on Trent just because of a catalogue of games that were not maybe extraordinary. Admitting they always expected a betting-in process for the player moving to a new league and a new country, Romano concluded, he's adjusting to his new city, his new life, his new language, his new club, and one that comes with a different level of pressure. So there are many things ongoing, but Real Madrid have not changed their mind on Trent. They love Trent, and they are sure that Trent is going to be a super important player for them in the present and future. So that's the feeling, and that remains the case for Trent Alexander-Arnold. Alexander-Arnold himself has admitted that leaving Liverpool was one of the hardest decisions of his life. Liverpool is my home, it made me who I am. But Madrid felt like the right move, at the right time. When asked about playing for Madrid, Alexander-Arnold said, "It's definitely a challenge, but it's one I welcome. The Bernabeu is a sacred place. You feel the weight of the shirt, but that's what drives you to give it your all." The right-back continued, "Liverpool made me who I am. More than anything, it was ambition and a personal desire for change. To challenge myself in a new environment. Of course, Real Madrid's legacy is undeniable. But more than that, what attracted me was ambition and the desire to test myself in a new context." Alexander-Arnold continued, "Yes, I feel it's a personal transformation as well as a professional one. Moving to a new country, learning a new culture, pushes you as a person. It's more than just football." Meanwhile, a report claims Liverpool are now accepting they'll lose Ibrahima Konate to Real Madrid in 2026 as part of a sublime double deal, though a signing of their own will soften the blow at Anfield. The Frenchman might not be the only current Reds star destined for the Bernabeu, either, amid strong links of late for Alexis Mac Allister. However, our transfer insider Dean Jones has spoken up to explain why the Merseysiders should not be concerned at this moment in time, despite rejecting claims Arne Slot's side see the Argentine is untouchable. And finally, another summer signing at Real Madrid, Dean Huijsen, was a hot commodity during the summer transfer window after a breakout campaign with Bournemouth, and his agent has now revealed the 5 clubs the Spanish Giants beat out to win the race for his signature. Hugo Ekitike delivers cutting 86-word rebuke to claims of Liverpool regrets after Isak transfer. Hugo Ekitike is adamant he has no regrets at joining Liverpool this summer after explaining why the move to Anfield can help him reach elite status, and the confident star's pledge can give Arne Slot a massive headache in his selection battle with Alexander Isak. The French striker moved to Anfield over the summer after turning down an offer from Newcastle, ultimately joining Liverpool in a transfer package that will total some £79 million, €90 million, $98 million. The third biggest deal of the entire window, Ekitike has taken on the number 22 shirt at Anfield and has quickly set about repaying his sizable fee. Having already registered 4 goals and 1 assist from 7 appearances so far, including what proved to be the decisive goal in Saturday's Merseyside derby, the 23-year-old has every reason to feel happy with his contributions so far. However, with British record signing Alexander Isak also arriving at Anfield this summer, the Swede completing a monumental £125 million move from Newcastle on transfer deadline day, it's been suggested the former Eintracht Frankfurt man will soon have to get used to playing second fiddle on Merseyside. Furthermore, one well-respected journalist has claimed Ekitike would not have joined Liverpool this summer had he known in advance that Isak would be arriving on Merseyside too. Despite that, Ekitike insists he has no regrets at making the move and, while not mentioning Isak by name, delivered a cutting 3-word "I don't care" riposte to speculation he could soon face life on the bench. "I don't care," Ekitike told Canal+. "I'm just focused on the game. Outside, everyone can talk about the transfer price. It is what it is. Football has changed." Ekitike insists he was well aware of the club's interest in Isak before making the move, but he insists he is still backing himself for success. "It was my choice. It's what I wanted because I had more of a feeling coming here, and I knew it was the right time and the right place for me. I wanted to get back to the top level and come back this time better equipped, more ready in all aspects, and I don't think I made a mistake." Unflappable Ekitike knows he can give Liverpool a selection headache. While the saga over Isak's summer transfer to Anfield saw the player effectively go on strike to try and force through the move and effectively leave the player without a full pre-season under his belt, the Swede has since been playing catch-up with his new teammates to try as he builds up his fitness. He was, though, given a 58-minute outing against Atletico Madrid last week, and the 25-year-old impressed as we analyzed 8 of his best moments from the game. After the match, Slot also insisted he would have more than enough games over the season to properly use both players. Yet when it came to the Merseyside derby on Saturday, it was the Frenchman who was once again chosen to lead the line. Now the player's unflappable confidence in his ability can certainly aid him over the season, and give Slot a selection headache in the process. On his excellent start to life as a Liverpool player, Ekitike added, "Obviously, seen from the outside, it can be shocking, but it doesn't shock me. I was in a dynamic at Frankfurt, where I was also making impressive stats last year. Now I'm also in a good team that seems good for me. I want to be a player who has consistency." Latest Liverpool news: mouth-watering triple deal planned, absolute tank ready to sign. On the transfers front, Liverpool are understood to have already put in place firm plans for the transfer windows of 2026, which will see the next phase of Slot's Anfield revolution continue, and the Dutchman is ready to focus on 3 positions and 4 players, in particular. Elsewhere, Liverpool have been given a significant lift in their quest to bring an absolute tank to Anfield after a journalist shared why he wants the move to Merseyside above all others. Meanwhile, speculation that Real Madrid are already planning to move Trent Alexander-Arnold on in 2026 and could let the player return to the Premier League with Man City in 2026 have resulted in a very strong repost from Fabrizio Romano. And finally, reports in Spain claim Luis Suarez is personally trying to get a Liverpool transfer deal over the line, having advised a Barcelona star over the potential move. Liverpool win twice on Derby weekend. Firstly, there was the Derby and the TNT Sports deification of Jack Grealish, whom I like, but Jesus, and the game at the Emirates, which Liverpool couldn't lose regardless of the outcome but somehow still managed to gain the best of all results. It was like we'd scripted it, even the late goal we seem to be into at the moment. I fully expected to see Arne Slot on the sidelines, celebrating both goals. We're only 5 games in, but we're already in a land where Liverpool are winning not just matches but weekends. Long may it continue. The Derby was a different and difficult game in so much as the Reds were as much battling their own fatigue as the opposition. We really didn't need a blood and guts derby with David Moyes after Burnley and Atletico Madrid, but the lads negotiated it well and kept out the inevitable onslaught, such as it was, when it arrived. The pundits spoke of the game being won in the first half, which is a fair point, but it's the hard yards of the second which will particularly please the manager. Saturday called for calm heads in an environment which was anything but, and another test was passed. 15 points from 5 games. Literally perfect. Another game done, more much-needed minutes for Alexander Isak and Florian Wirtz, one for match sharpness, the other more of an acclimatation to a tougher league, and maybe more of a rest for Alexis Mac Allister, who looked goosed by the first goal. All three will hit higher levels, but football management is always a juggling act when it comes to intensity and rest, with hardly anyone at the same level. For example, Florian needs more weight training, Alexis more ice creams on Otterspool prom. Maybe this is why people are saying that we're not quite ready yet, not quite firing on all clichés, the whole losing a 2-goal lead thing. That's certainly the story of the season. Incidentally, I loved Virgil's response to that after the game on Wednesday, when he was asked, "Do you have concerns about the defense?" "No. That was it. No deadpan." God, I love that man. He's right, too. Sometimes the opposition just plays well, sometimes the ref gives a goal when an offside player is shadowboxing with your goalkeeper and the narrative and momentum changes. It's just how it goes. Sometimes the wrong goals go in. What's important is how you get through it. On Wednesday the captain had had enough of being pegged back and put an end to that nonsense. On Saturday we defended the 18-yard line with everything we had and hoped that St. Jack would find Ibu or Virgil's head again. Manchester City did the same thing with their own penalty area on Sunday until they went mad and played an offside trap with 6 centre-backs just as the keeper inexplicably decided to come out for a chat. These are the small margins. We're still waiting for Liverpool to be masterful for a full 90-plus minutes, but in the meantime we'll just have to make do with maximum points won on muscle memory and courage. That last is vital. It takes a huge amount of fortitude to do what we've done so far this season. It's easy to say Everton are at a lower level than us, but they always give you a game or, at least, a part of one. Sometimes that part can be too much for us, but we're fighting so hard that we're coming through the tests like that. It's not easy, this. Football might be the beautiful game, but it's really, really hard. We're doing so well, successfully swatting the biplanes away from on top of the league, and this weekend we managed to gain further advantage from a game which had nothing, but everything, to do with us. You win nothing in September, but you can set down a marker. I like this sort of marker. I love this side, and I don't want to see any of them on Tuesday. Maybe Wirtz and Isak for an hour. Maybe not. Not Mac Allister though. I want to see him at Otterspool with a 99er. I love it when we win, but it's better when we somehow manage to win twice. Enjoy this.